I'm just gonna go ahead and be real. You can have your Wolverines, you can have your Cyclops, you can have your Jean Greys, but to me, Nightcrawler will always be the superior X-Men. And I already know there's a bunch of Wolverine fanboys that are gonna get mad about this, but I don't really care. Nightcrawler still is the best X-Men in my opinion. And I've been a huge fan of this character ever since I saw the movie X2 X-Men United when it was in theaters, and when I was watching X-Men Evolution when it came out on Cartoon Network. But Nightcrawler has always been that character that inspired me to try to be a better person, to try to look for the good in people, to try to hold on to my faith when things get bad in the long run. And of course, he's also proven to be a better teacher. And you're probably wondering, what do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at Nightcrawler issue number 5. After being separated by the woman he loves and no longer being allowed into heaven, Nightcrawler has to take on his next biggest challenge, which is being a teacher. The first day it takes place in the danger room with a few little changes here and there, and the first day of training goes off without a hitch until one of the students, Rico, decided to get a little bit anxious and he winded up getting captured by Emma Frost, or in this case her projection self, at which Nightcrawler has to stop the program. Nightcrawler teaches Rico that even though that is called the danger room and these are all illusions, that still doesn't mean that the danger is any less real. He also tells him that instead of going for the full frontal assault, it would be better to take his opponents off their guard. So they start up the program again and he says, find ways to do better. Fast forward to later on that night and Kurt pretty much fixes up the old Blackbird, which was given to him by Storm. And as he was fixing up the old jet, who should appear but Rico? Nightcrawler makes it clear that the young teenager doesn't like rules, but the teenager retorts by saying that it's hard for him to fit in because of the rules. He even said that it's hard for him to fit in with everybody else when he looks the way that he does. Kurt sympathizes with him and tells him he knows how that feels, and even asks Rico if he wants to go with him to take the Blackbird out for a test drive, to which an excited Rico accepts. And as they're flying, we then learn a little bit something about Rico. As it turns out, the young lad really wants to be an astronaut, but believes that he will never make it. And then when Nightcrawler asks why, he says, look at me, people see me, they see a monster. And this is where Nightcrawler says probably the greatest thing that I've ever read. He says, it's hard to blaze a trail, believe me, I know, but it's not impossible. Your effort will make that easier for those who follow, and your path will lead you to wonders and adventures you never dreamed of. That is why we're here, I think, to show the way, to protect those who follow. And it seems like that always what makes Nightcrawler such an interesting character for me. We've seen him struggle, we've seen him die, we've seen him watch his friends and loved ones get taken from him or die. There are moments that he could pretty much hit his limits, but he never ever gives up. He never loses his faith, and he never loses his faith in others. If he tells you you got a chance to do some great things in the future, he's not telling you that because he's making you feel better. He's telling you that because he actually believes it, because he's been through it. And it's that type of attitude that makes him probably, in my opinion, one of the most important X-Men to ever exist. And sure, we got heroes like Spider-Man that we sympathize with every day that struggle and pretty much go through a lot of things. But for someone like the Nightcrawler, who has been treated like an outcast and even felt like an outcast, but still continues to see the good in others and is always there to lift them up, not bring them down, even after losing someone closest to him, he has not once shown signs of giving up or even lost his faith. And that's why he's the greatest X-Men. But I want to hear from you guys. Do you agree or disagree? Who do you think is the greatest X-Men and why? You can stitch this video, leave it down in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.